I know you're probably thinking, why doesn't he just hang something like a ratchet strap or a rope or something from the ceiling instead of building this ridiculously complicated thing that is stupid? Well, I thought about that. I thought about a lot of things, actually. I thought about some sort of like lever mechanism made out of 2x4s that would allow me to lift the door and lock it in place, and then I thought about hanging something from the ceiling, and I thought about all kinds of stuff, and this is kind of where my brain landed. I've got a lot of scrap wood tailings from a cabinet store that I've had in my wood shop for a long time, so when it comes to making weird little stuff like this, I got a fair amount of wood that I basically got for free, so I make a lot of things out of this stuff, and this kind of makes sense and sure seems to do a pretty solid job. So hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe somebody else that wants to hold up their doors and keep a jig sitting in the edge of their garage or something. This is one of my dreams I've had for about 25 years, and you know, you might think it's stupid. I don't know, part of me thinks it's stupid too, but another part of me just, every time I look at this thing, it just brings a smile to my face. You know, it's just something I never really actually thought that I would do, and it's just been so cool to be able to take all of the knowledge that I've gained over the years, my technical expertise, and put it into something that the 10, 12-year-old me would have never understood. And it's just so cool to be able to share it, let other people experience it like I have, and it's just such a cool thing to be able to experience and just behold and see and touch and look at and be a part of. So hope you guys enjoy these videos. If you do, let me know. You know, I've got a lot of other things that I need to do to this thing, even though it's in great shape, as you can probably see. It's you know, it's not perfect, and unfortunately I'm a perfectionist. So yeah, let me know, and I can definitely show you around. I noticed that there's really not a whole lot of videos and information on this specific thing. I mean, there's some, but and I learned a lot from those guys, but I figured, you know, if I could help add a little bit to it and give a couple more angles, a little bit easier to understand. I'm hoping that that's kind of what I can do. So now you're seeing the point of why I made those door holding jigs. I need something to keep the door up and out of the way while I remove all this stuff. I'm going to end up removing the torsion rods here in a little bit, and you really need something stable to hold that rod that somebody won't walk by or I won't accidentally kick and knock over and get crushed by the door. So yeah, right here, these strut mounts will pull out of the body over time, and a couple of different companies make kits that will reinforce this area, and I'm going to show you how to install those. Just be careful with this weather strip. I mean, you can get some replacements, but I'm going to try and reuse these things if possible. Right here I'm trying to emphasize the quality of tools that you're using. This stuff is difficult, and the higher the quality of the tool that you have, the easier it's going to end up being on yourself. These are the snap-on, I think they call them flank drive screwdrivers. They got like little teeth in the tip of the screwdriver, which really helps it get a good bite. Make sure you get that last one. It makes it possible to get this rear panel to come loose enough. Otherwise you could possibly crinkle it. See where my right hand is down there? There's actually a cut in the body panel that will flex like crazy if that bottom screw isn't removed, and potentially crease. and I find out a little bit that moving that camera kind of just messed up my whole angle. Here, there's a little piece of trim that you're going to have to remove, and I'm drilling out the rivets now to make that possible. I think it's a 3/16 drill bit. I've got a drill bit extender on there. This is a snap-on kit. It comes with the screwdriver and all these parts. So the drill bits don't go into a standard drill, they go into a 1/4-inch hex. So yeah, I grabbed a scraper right here and then went underneath that little piece of trim right toward the hinge and just pried up, pops right off. Now pull back on that quarter panel and kind of twist it toward the car and lift at the same time, and this thing will come right out of there. Here's a better view of that mount that we're going to replace. So yeah, right there is where it will pull as that strut rod pushes against it. It will yank it right out of that body. I don't know if it's like torsion bars loose over time and then relying too much on the strut. I don't exactly know. I mean, mine, I noticed on the right side was a little crooked, and I did some homework and found that, yeah, this is a thing, so I got these, had to do it. So right here, you remove that weather stripping, and then you just peel back on these guys. My headliner was pretty badly delaminated. You're gonna end up getting this foam dust all over the place. So make sure you have a vacuum handy. So the guy that owned this car before me did a lot of work to the interior of the car, but he did not replace the headliners, so gotta have this. That's one of the things I'm gonna end up getting to. So right here, I'm removing the old marks from the torsion rod. I could care less where those are supposed to be. I want to make sure that I have new marks that are lined up exactly where they make sense to me. So getting rid of those guys, I'm going to make new marks straight up and down with a Sharpie. I've done enough homework now to where I'm pretty confident that I can do it even without these marks. So right here, again, really emphasis on the quality. This is even one of the things in the instructions that they give you that they actually ask for specifically a snap-on. Right here, what I'm trying to tell you is the socket is actually a little bit too wide, and that bracket will not go over that socket. So on the other side, I found that out the hard way. Make sure you get a nice, good, large 1/2-inch ratchet. So you can see right here, as I remove the torque, look on the left side. As I remove the torque from the torsion rod, the whole box is flexing and moving. That's not right. Shouldn't be doing that. And that's why I'm doing this. So this roof box, I'll show you here in a little bit, is lifting off of the body because of the torsion rods pulling on it. And I'm going to mount that guy down with another kit that I got. So if you're wondering where I got all these snap-on tools from, I've been an automotive technician for 25 years now. I've amassed quite a collection of tools, very specific about having the right tool for the right job. So I really, I've been waiting for this my whole life. So as you come down, as you can see on the right hand side, having a ratchet that bends at the head is going to be very helpful. It's either this or you're going to have the big giant 2x4 jigs that you see the guys have with a really long extension. Forget all that. This way is great. It's just you're going to want to have that flex head. Again here, there's the roof box jiggling about. So I'm prying up on the passenger side to see how loose this box is, how much space I'm going to have to put glue in. So right here again, this should be flat and it pulls up right there. There's actually a crease and it's not very easy to see, but taking a look at this torsion rod to see if I could pull it out. I'm assuming at this point it's kind of rusted in place, but I find out here in just a second that's not the case. And there it goes. So what I found out happened, I thought that maybe the torsion rod either popped or broke or came loose, and sure enough it did just pop loose while I was just looking at it. So what I found out is happening here, and at this point I'm chickened out and I put it back in because I wasn't exactly sure which direction I wanted that to go, and I wasn't 100% confident at that point. There's so much torque on these rods over 40 years that they swedge themselves in that opposite side. So what happens here, this is what's called, what I'm learning is called the roof box. This piece was never actually bolted down from the factory. It was just glued in, as you can see, as evident here, to the fiberglass tub. And over the years, with the strain of this torsion rod, with the door closed this way, door closes, torsion rod turns, it pulls on the inside of this roof box from both sides and lifts it up after it delaminates over time. So mine, you can see, is starting to buckle right here. I looked inside here with a camera, and there's some minor rust, but it's not that bad. So replacing the roof box does not appear to be necessary. I should be able to clean that out, spray it with some cavity wax, and I don't really plan to drive this in the rain a whole lot, so I think we're going to be okay. But they make a kit to drill holes through here and here and here and here, and you drill holes straight through this plate, this whole piece, and up underneath here, and you put washers and nuts on the other side. So you clamp this thing down after you fill it full of some manner of goo somehow. I guess I'm going to figure out when the kit shows up. But yeah, then drill it through this big, super thick, I saw a video, it's about that thick of fiberglass, and then a bunch of foam, and then about that thick of fiberglass underneath all that. So we're going to sandwich all this together, crush all this down and nice and flat, and then the doors shouldn't rip this piece right off, and we should be solid. I did this one earlier. Right in here, the way that these doors work, I guess I probably should have explained that first. There's a torsion rod right here. The torsion rod helps the door start to open, and then after the door starts to open, there's a gas strut in here, and there's a stud that gas strut that you saw me remove earlier connects to here. But the problem is that it's very small, thin piece of metal right there, and this little piece of metal has a similar piece on the inside of this, and it will actually pull this out and rip it right out of the fiberglass over time. And this little stud right here threads in, and it will get crooked like this over time, and mine was a little crooked. So they, being the guys who know more about these cars than I do, made kits. They look like this, and what you do is you pull this part out and you get up inside of here and you install this bracket. After this piece comes out of the way, this piece replaces this piece, and then you bolt this guy on from the back as well as the front, and it makes this little surface area that holds that stud this surface area, and this will never be a problem again. So these doors, when I'm done with this project, will be ready for the future.